A very pleasant what's happening to you all. I'm Calvin Lincoln, and welcome to another edition of Soul School. Just fresh back in from dealing with the one and only Dazz Band out in Harlows, well, out in Sacramento at a place called Harlows. And it was a very interesting experience because Bobby Harris gave me an insight into just what he and who he really is, which I already knew. But it was interesting hearing him actually come out and actually do what I knew what he was and who he is and who he continues to be, which is an #1 jazz cat. Now, what I did know was Raymond Calhoun, who was the great drummer of the Gap Band, and of course the Gap Experience now that's actually kind of going on. I didn't know that he was a jazz cat. I mean, these cats can really, really play. And of course, you had Marlon McClain of Pleasure, who was actually sitting in, and actually he was a member of the Dazz Band for 20 or 30 years. And of course, the one and only EQ Young of ConFunkShun, formerly of the Dazz Band and formerly of Radiance of Oakland, California. So it was absolutely just an absolute just wonderful experience, and they gave me a different kind of show because I've seen the Dazz Band I would say at least 20 times, and I'm not exaggerating. And usually it's always a funky kind of thing, and every now and then they'll get into some jazz and stuff like that because you do the quote-unquote stuff for the people who come to hear the hits and stuff. And they actually do have a current edge in which they always kind of play something that's actually kind of current just to kind of keep you interested. But this particular time, I get the feeling that Bobby said, you know what? Let's do what we normally would do for the people and all this other stuff, but this time we're going to have a little bit of fun for the band because they got into some real kind of jazzy type of stuff. And actually, that's the cool thing about playing clubs, and you're not necessarily on a hit with like 4 or 5 different, acts, because in the club you can kind of stretch out and actually kind of play. And this probably kind of reminds me, well, it doesn't remind me because I wasn't there, but this would probably be the closest thing I could get to what he was actually doing in Cleveland as Kinsman Dazz before he actually brought everybody out. Let's get to that, and I'll be back in a few moments.
So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right?
I found